Okay, time for a new video, and whether you're somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, so it is possible I will stumble over my words moving forwards. Apologies about that, and also apologies if the quality of this video is fairly poor as well. If there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it cannot be helped, and hopefully it is not too much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision 2024 related video here on my channel, and today I'm going to be going through all of the nations that are likely to participate in next May's Malmö, Sweden staged edition of the ESC, and telling you what I'd like to see/hear from those nations next year. What type of song I'd like to hear, what I'd like from the national final in general. Pretty basic stuff. As always, you're very welcome to let me know what you think about what I say in today's video. Feel free to leave your own suggestions too in the comments section, always nice to see. And as always, there are links in the description to my other social media pages, check them out if you so wish. This video might be a little bit similar to one that I filmed several weeks ago, which you may well have seen, called Stick or Twist, where I went through all of these different nations, had a look at whether they have a national final or an internal selection, and I said whether, in my personal opinion, that nation, whatever country it was, should stick with their tried and tested format or go for something different next year. And this video is going to be in the same sort of vein, but more in terms of the actual music. Now, something I could do, dear viewers, is name names, artists I'd like to see in national finals next year. But I'm sort of leaving that for the Instagram page that I co-run with my good friend Peter, ragc.esc, link in the description to that. But also, even though my knowledge of European music is pretty decent, and Eurovision definitely plays a part there, I don't really know 20 possible Armenian candidates, or 20 possible Spanish candidates. Hardcore fans might know, I certainly don't. And I'm very willing to put in the time and effort and make a video reeling off all of these names for all of these countries. But that might have to wait for another time. For now, really basic stuff. This might not even be that long a video, but knowing me, it might end up being about 30 minutes, because I do ramble. So the first country alphabetically here is Albania. What I'd like to see/hear from Albania next May at Eurovision 2024 in Malmö is anything that isn't a female-driven ballad. Now, don't get me wrong, I've got no problem with female-led slow songs. They can be excellent, of course they can. But it seems to me that Albania really love them, and we've had plenty of them. Angela Peristeri, Johnny de Malici, Eneda Tarifa, and the list goes on a little bit. Now, that's all well and good, but I very much feel that Albania is so much better when they don't have a female-driven ballad. I don't know what it is, but you can almost predict what's going to happen sometimes with Albania. For example, Angela Peristeri, a couple of years ago in Rotterdam. I thought, if this song qualifies, she's going to finish in the bottom half. That's exactly what happened. With Johnny de Malici, I thought exactly the same thing. Now, these weren't bad songs, I just sort of saw the result coming a mile off. Even with Albina and the Kelmendi family in Liverpool earlier this year, a really decent song, powerful stuff, great vocals, but the result was fairly predictable. Maybe not doing so well with the public, I didn't see that coming, but the overall result, I could see it coming a mile off, and maybe you could have done as well. Anyway, getting back to the point, anything but a female-led ballad for Albania next year. FIC will no doubt take place around Christmas, no doubt it will feel fairly old-fashioned like it usually does. I never really follow it that closely, but rock, I know that Albania has a fairly decent rock scene. We've had Eugene Bush Pepper in the past. Will he come back? I don't know. But maybe a rock song, maybe a band. Have Albania been represented by a band any time recently? I don't think so. Well, you could say this year, but it looks to me like Albania have never been represented by a band. And next year marks 2 decades since they debuted in Istanbul. I find that quite surprising. So a band singing anything that isn't a ballad. That's what I'd like to see from Albania. That's what I'd like to hear, and keep it in Albanian as well, because everybody appreciates that. In terms of names, I don't really know too many. Inis Neziri would be a good one. What's the guy's name? He had a great song. Ils Limani. He had a great song called Shiu, I think, a couple of years ago. Yeah, there's two for you. Anyway, Armenia's next looking at this. Very simple here. Armenia know what they're doing when it comes to Junior Eurovision. Their track record is great. They will probably push for the win again in Nice at Junior Eurovision in a few months' time. What I'd like in the adult competition is essentially the grown-up version of Camille Camille. Not exactly the same, but in the same vein. Something that is seriously impressive, mature, slick, well executed on stage, and a bit of a showstopper. Camille Camille, I've said this before, I'll say it again. It was a bit of a watershed moment for Junior Eurovision. We'd never had anything quite that impressive before, quite that mature sounding before, for kids. Some people could well have said at the time, and may well say now, that song should never have been in Junior Eurovision because it wasn't really a kiddie-friendly song, if you see what I mean. Anyway, who cares? The song is great. And Armenia at the adult contest need that sort of thing. So that's what I'm hoping for. Australia. Well, I don't even know if Australia have confirmed participation next year. Of course, their contract is sort of up. So I don't know what the situation is. But from Australia, oh man, there's a lot of great metal bands in Australia. I don't really listen to metal music that much, but I know there's a lot of metal musicians and bands in Australia. Lots of rock bands. Of course, we have Voyager this year. I'm not saying do exactly the same thing again next year in Malmö. You've also got a lot of sort of pop-punk bands as well. I think going down that route would be a bit of a risk. But then again, Australia have taken risks in the past. You could say Voyager, this year's entry, may be a little bit on the risky side. Kate Miller-Heidke, a couple of years ago, that was through a national final. You could say that was definitely a risky entry. But if you want to play it a bit safer, there's one name that I think should be in contention. If you don't know who this is, I recommend looking them up. It's Amy Shark, who is 37. She's had, I think both of her albums have gone to #1 in Australia. Yes, they have. She's had a couple of fairly notable hits in Australia as well. I believe she's a judge on, is it the X Factor or something like that in Australia? I've no idea. All I know is that she is fairly well known. So, yeah, she's won loads of awards. Amy Shark. Failing that, something in the pop-punk sort of realm, I would certainly be down for that. Next up is Austria. Oh man, well, I'm not really fussed what it is. Rumours were circulating that Conchita would come back next year. That's not happening. Fine by me. But, yeah, I feel like Austria, they use these songwriting camps, don't they? Who the Hell is Edgar came through a songwriting camp. I've got no beef with that whatsoever. We've had a straightforward ballad with Limits a couple of years ago. We had Who the Hell is Edgar this year. We had a sort of pop banger last year, I suppose. We've had a ballad again in Amen in Rotterdam. We had Conchita all those years ago. We had a sort of schmaltzy piano-driven track in Vienna. We had cutesy stuff from Zoe, Loin d'ici. Yeah. I don't know, something very different once again from Austria. I'm not particularly fussed what it is. Then we have Azerbaijan. Very simple. A song in their own language. Not fussed what genre it is. I think this year, even though the result was crap, let's be honest, it was a step in the right direction because they weren't just going down the let's get a couple of Scandinavians to do the work for us route. I don't like that. You know, it is what it is. I don't hate it, but I'm not a huge fan. And for Azerbaijan, I think using homegrown talent, that's very wise. And singing in your own language for a change, that would be much appreciated. Then we have Belgium. Well, I did not expect Belgium to do so well this year. The song just came right up on the rails. Fair play to Gustav. He looked good and sang well. I have to say, I did like it a couple of years ago when Belgium was sending these sort of moody sounding tracks. I would go down that route again. I really would. We had Senek, she didn't qualify. Elliot couldn't sing live to save his life, no offence, but he didn't sound great. We had Blanche, of course, she was fantastic. We had Hooverphonic as well. Yeah, fantastic stuff. So going down that route again might not be a bad idea. I don't know what Blanche is doing these days. I really liked City Lights, and I really liked the music she was coming out with afterwards. I think she just focused on her studies. But hopefully a music comeback is on the horizon. Anyway, that's a side note. With regards to Croatia, who very recently confirmed participation for next year, we've got people like Mia Negovatic, Lorena Buchan. Oh yeah, Damir Kedshow, get him involved again, why not? He deserves his Eurovision chance. I think Let 3 might well pave the way over the next few years for a lot more eccentricity, perhaps, coming through the Croatian national final. I don't know. Whether I'd love that or not remains to be seen. Honestly, I'm not terribly fussed what we get from Croatia next year. As for Cyprus, well, we were supposed to be getting the Cypriot artist last week, or earlier this week. We never got it. Rumours are it's a 16-year-old woman from Australia. Okay, fair enough. I'd like to have a singer from Cyprus with a song written by Cypriots. Now, I don't know, but I think it's probably been an exceptionally long time since Cyprus had a song written by somebody from Cyprus. Again, this doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. But it would be nice to see. I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks that. In terms of the song, though, well, Cyprus, you know how Belgium, I was just saying, they've had these moody-sounding songs. Cyprus have loved a pop song over the past few years. Elena Sagurinu, Tamta, Eleni Furera, will she come back? Eurovision fans want her to come back, it seems. I don't know if you'd be able to top Fuego, though, in all honesty, and I have read that she'd only come back if it was representing Greece. It is what it is. Cyprus, I don't know. I'm not really too fussed. As for Czechia, well, I think they could be gearing up for something pretty special. I don't know what makes me think that, but this is a country that could really challenge for the win sooner rather than later. I definitely liked Lights Off last year. Didn't mind this year's entry either. My Sister's Crown. I Stand all those years ago in Stockholm. That was great. Didn't do very well, though. There was a singer in the national final the other year called Judy, who had a song called Yezinki, which I'm probably mispronouncing, but that was really good, and that could have really stood out a mile at Eurovision. So maybe something like that, something very otherworldly, utterly captivating, in Czech. I'm all for it. Failing that, Celeste Buckingham, who I don't think has done that much in recent years, but Slovakia, I'm not sure they're going to be coming back anytime soon, so she may as well cross over the border and wave her hand. Anyway, Denmark. I'm starting to ramble big time, bear with me. Denmark. Oh man, so many artists are involved in DMGP, and they never come back to try again. I don't know why, it is what it is. Anne Gadegaard is there, should have won in 2015. Julie Bjerre, Anna Ritzma, people like that. I like their songs. Bring them back. And I've said this before, Denmark love a cutesy number that just charms viewers, that charms listeners. We may well get something like that again in DMGP next year, and therefore in Sweden next year. Emily de Forest, will she come back? I doubt it. Maybe as a songwriter, that would be great to see. I would like Denmark to take a bit more of a risk. It's as simple as that. Wouldn't it be really quite something if people actually started raving about a Danish entry for a change, because it's been such a long time since I saw a lot of buzz for a Danish entry. I'm not fussed whether it's in English or Danish, or even Faroese, can you imagine that? But yeah, something that's not expected. People expect safe, bland stuff from Denmark, let's be honest. So let's not have that. Then we have Estonia, Love Estonia, absolutely love it. I mean, Elina Born, Rasta, they could come back. Traffic, Marilyn, who had a great song the other year that I really loved. She never got to perform it live though because of COVID. Frankie Animal, Go Away Bird, Kerli, she'd be fantastic. Ariadne, oh man, absolutely splendid stuff. I think the diversity and the quality was a little bit stronger a few years ago. Estonia have come out today, I think, as I'm recording this video you're watching now, and said that they're going to have one semi-final and a final. Fair enough. Ollie, who was the runner-up, he can come back. Sissy, she can come back. Annette and Freddie, love for them to come back. Minimal Wind and Elizabeth Tiffany, hello. Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen. A song like that at Eurovision, you would not hear me shut up about it on this damn channel. Anyway, Estonia, bring the goods. That's all I'm saying. And I am sure they will deliver. We love Estonia on this channel. Moving on to Finland. Well, tough act to follow, and I'm not sure they're going to follow it up terribly well. But I'm sure it's still going to be a top quality entry. A song in Finnish. Promote the hell out of it. The thing with Cha 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 is that it was so arresting from the first listen. It was the sort of song, at least for me, that once you've listened to it, you want to listen to it again, because that refrain was just stuck in your head for the rest of your days. It's still there now. So, with Finland, just keep on doing what you're doing. I made a video ages ago, well before this is Eurovision, which you may well have seen, where I spoke about why Finland knew what they were doing and why everybody should sit up and pay attention. Next year, keep doing what you're doing. It's as simple as that. Not quantity, but quality. Then we have France. I don't know what France have got planned for next year, whether they're having a national final or not. I should know this. I don't think anything's been confirmed just yet. I don't know. Barbara Pravi, I think, is a bit of a lucky charm for the French, because she got their best result for years the other year. And she is a two-time, I believe it's a two-time, Junior Eurovision winning songwriter. So she knows what she's doing. And obviously, a song for Junior Eurovision is a bit different than a song for the adult competition. But maybe get her involved in some capacity. Because I think she could maybe find a really great artist or write a really good song. As for Georgia, oh man, I don't really know. Georgia's track record is very poor of late. They have had some eccentric songs in the past. I don't mind that. But it just seems as though nobody really connects with them enough. So maybe bring back somebody. I don't know who. Or maybe, and this is something that I really should be saying for a few other countries, those Junior Eurovision acts who are now old enough to try for the adult competition, why not go down that route? I know Georgia did this year with Iru. Maybe try it again, because that song she had in Liverpool wasn't half bad. She just didn't get enough love. I don't know. As for Germany, what can they do? I really think they've got to go with a big name. They've got to go with a big name, a signal of intent. One of their biggest acts. People have said about Rammstein, there's a lot of controversy with them at the moment, so forget it. But that sort of level, you know, that sort of popularity, I think a big, big name, full control over their song, and hopefully they can go to Malmo and absolutely smash it. This year's German entry should not have finished last, it's as simple as that, but it was always going to be fairly divisive with the juries and indeed the public. You've got to bounce back. You need that one entry. The UK had it with Sam Ryder, admittedly not so good this year from the UK, and you know, France had it with Barbara Pravi, not so good the following year, admittedly. Germany just need that one killer song, the catalyst for change. They absolutely can do it. The German music scene is not dreadful, so somebody out there will surely deliver the goods. Failing that, Lena, who is really big, still doing well, would she do it a third time? I don't know. Get Stefan Raab involved again. You know, as soon as he cleared off, Germany sort of lost their way a little bit. I don't know. As for Greece, I don't know. A song in Greek. I really liked Die Together last year. So maybe a song similar to that, but in the Greek language. I don't know. Iceland, Katla is a name that I'd like to see involved again. Elin Sif, who actually makes music under the name Elin Hall. I only know this because I've entered a fan contest where one of her songs is involved. I selected it. There's a singer called Gudrun, Gdrn, fantastic. She should absolutely be involved at some point, if you ask me. There's a band called Kvikandi, I think they're called, fantastic. Failing that, give Sigur Rós or Björk a call. I'm joking. But yeah, Iceland, you know, we've had Hattari, we've had Daddy and Gagna Matnith, we've had Sister. This year, Dilja didn't qualify, which is a bit of a shame. But Iceland are capable of having these acts in Songförkeppnin that are real showstoppers, acts that are really talked about outside of Iceland among the Eurovision community. Maybe more of the same. I don't know. As for Ireland, first of all, you've got to change that national final completely. I might even go internal. A song in Irish? Come on now. Come on. I'd like a band. I know we had Wild Youth, but I'd like, no offence, a better band. And I don't know, Ireland, they're good at this sort of, they were in the 90s, they were good at this sort of melancholic, pretty stuff. So something like that in Irish. Why not? Why not? As for Israel, I know they're using their sort of televised talent show thing again next year. It'll be an up-and-coming name. I'd like something like Feker Libi. Blend of languages, something fairly traditional, very colourful, very vibrant, performed by a very good, young up-and-coming talent. As for Italy, Annalisa or bust, but we know Sanremo is going to be stacked with great singers and some newcomers too. Ariete, I can't remember that woman's name, so I'll leave it. Pinguini Tattici Nucleari, Lo Stato Sociale, I think they were involved this year, weren't they? I'm just reeling off random names now. Elodie, Sergio Silvestre, Arisa, Elisa, Francesco Gabbani, he may as well come back, why the hell not? I'm not concerned, because the quality will be pretty high. Maneskin, that was a bit of a risky entry, but look what happened. As for Latvia, internally select Marcus Riva, or don't, because they are having Supernova again. He'll probably be involved. Aminata will probably be involved. I really don't know what Latvia can do. A song in Latvian, I think simplicity might be the way to go. I really do. What was the Latvian entry this year? That was a step in the right direction, yes. Simple. Something that's just really, really effortlessly done. I'm not saying a Marpelos Deutsch, but maybe not far away from that. Something that's just utterly captivating and really simple. Don't go over the top here. Let the voice do the talking. You know what I mean? Lithuania is next. The Roop, quite quirky, paid off. Monica, I suppose also quite quirky, paid off. Who was it for Lithuania this year? Monica, not quite so quirky, paid off. You've got people like Rutaloop, Greta Zaza, Beatrick, who had Like a Movie earlier this year. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think Lithuania ticking along quite nicely. I'm not too fussed what they send. As for Luxembourg, well, they've been having these behind closed doors auditions or whatever it is. A song in their own language would be great. Otherwise, I'm not really fussed. Something that's competitive, it's as simple as that. A really great Luxembourg-based born talent. That would be fantastic. Malta, I don't have a damn clue what they're doing. Maxine Patch, and then in terms, I mean, Destiny may as well try again. What's his name? Franklin He's got a great voice. He might as well try again. Federica Falzon, who had that Junior Eurovision entry about a decade ago that was fantastic. Get her in. Oh, yeah. Gaia Cauchi, who won all those years ago. She's still making music. She's a pretty big star. Get her in. Brooke, you're on the bus. There's plenty of great singers. I honestly think the singers aren't the problem in Malta. It's the songs, the songwriting. It's all a little bit vanilla. It's all a little bit plain. And look, vanilla ice cream is fine, but sometimes you've got to mix it up and throw in that strawberry and chocolate at the same time. This is a terrible, terrible analogy, and I don't know why I'm going down this route. But hopefully you can see what I mean. Malta need to spice things up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And we had Michaela, we had Destiny, quality internal selections. But Malta have decided to go down the national final route again. God help us all. A song in Maltese, though. Come on now. Moldova. Well, I don't want Sunstroke Project, or Aliona Moon, or Stob Shistub. Anybody but those three. There are more singers in Moldova. Pasha Parfeni's done it twice now. That's enough as far as I'm concerned. Somebody different, somebody fresh, somebody with a really, really great song. I know I'm being very vague here with a lot of these countries, but it is what it is. Netherlands, Rock is the way. Within Temptation. They've got a new album coming out, for crying out loud. Within Temptation, Kensington, I think they're still going, although their lead singer cleared off. Maybe he's going to release some solo material. Come on now. Rock stuff from the Netherlands. That would be a change. That would be very welcome. In Dutch as well. Oh my God, I'm wetting myself with excitement thinking about it. So it's the way to go as far as I'm concerned. As for Norway, oh man, I think they're doing quite well. Kano are probably coming back. They're probably going to win. All well and good if the song's great, but otherwise, I'm not too sure about that myself. Ulrika, yeah, come on, try again, keep on going. Otherwise, I don't really know. I'd love something that's very traditional. Maybe in the Sami language. It's happened before, but not for a long time. I know Kano had that sort of Sami link, and still do. But, and Agneta had it, I suppose, that Sami link in 2016. But, yeah, something that's ultra-traditional, I think, would be very appreciated. As for Poland, Margaret or nothing. Song in Polish. She should have represented Poland all those years ago, for God's sake. Yeah, something really fantastic, because they do seem to know what they're doing at Junior Eurovision. In the adult contest, it's a little bit all over the place. Portugal. Oh, man. Claudia Pascual, she was involved earlier this year. I don't think she'll come back again anytime soon. Catarina Miranda, Janeiro, Teresa Nascimento, who I'm not even sure that's her name, apologies, but something like that. They've all been involved in the past, these individuals. I think Portugal, like Lithuania, ticking along quite nicely. I'm not too fussed what they send. Romania might be withdrawing. All they need to do, really, is send the right damn song this time, because with all due respect to Theodor Andre, that song shouldn't have been anywhere near winning that national final. So, I don't know. Get Roxanne back. Aladeda, who was in the national final earlier this year, she'd be great. A really good pop song, I think, for Romania. A really well-executed pop song. That would be great. That would be great. San Marino. I don't know. They're going to use their national final again. I don't know. I mean, there were a few all-right songs out of the sludge earlier this year. So I'm not too fussed. I think San Marino, they may as well keep doing what they're doing, because the quality will shine through in the end, hopefully. And the fact that anybody can try and represent them means that there will be a few decent songs in the mix. All you've got to do is pick one of them and hope for the best. I'm not fussed what style it is. Serbia, well, Constractor did quite well, Luke Black didn't, but that's two very different, very interesting entries in a row. More of the same. Slovenia, well, they had an all-male group who did terribly, and this year had an all-male group who did better. So next year, maybe an all-female group. why not give it a punt? As for Spain, Megarra, I think, are going to be involved, which is fantastic. Tanchugueiras, maybe they'll come back. That would be great. A song in a dialect of Spanish, Galician, Basque. Oh, heavens above. Something like that would be really good, wouldn't it? So I'm hoping in the Benidorm Fest lineup we get it, and if not, why not? But yeah, diversity in terms of language, and then a song at Eurovision in Malmö in one of those sort of regional languages. That would be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'm all for it. As for Sweden, Victoria, if she's involved, I've just read an article within the past hour. Here it is, 2,624 songs. You know that Sweden will be trying to win again. Of course they will. A female solo, Lisa Ryack, she's a great singer. Anybody in that sort of vein, I'm down with. I think Cornelia Jacobs was absolutely fantastic, and that was a more low-key effort. Something like that again. Not exactly the same, but something like that again. In Swedish, I mean, pigs might fly, but in Swedish, I think that would be amazing. Switzerland, I don't know. This year's entry was pretty good. John's Tears was fantastic, both times. Yeah, I'm not too fussed with Switzerland. Maybe a female singer this time, or a band, with something really, really fantastic. And not in English. Maybe in Romansh. That would be nice. Ukraine, you know they're going to deliver. Melovin might be coming back. Jerry Heil might be coming back. Krutz. There's quite a few great artists in Ukraine. And the songs, they're just so unlike anything you'd get from most other countries. That's what's interesting about Vidbeer. The quality is high. It always is. And I never really follow it that closely. But you know Ukraine will deliver. So I'm not too concerned. As for the UK, well, I've spoken about this, and I've put things on the joint Instagram page as well. Amy McDonald, Pixie Lott, Nina Nesbitt, Pale Waves, Biba Doobie, The Japanese House. I think something that is sort of pop, maybe slightly synthified, quite unusual perhaps in terms of its structure, you know, time signatures and all of that business. Let's not go down that route, but you know what I mean. Just something that feels maybe not terribly radio friendly, and maybe by an artist that nobody's terribly familiar with, but again, something that's just utterly captivating. I've just remembered a song. You might remember this. In Eesti Laul years ago, there was a song by a guy called Mick Pedia called Seis or something like that, and it was so utterly simple. It was just him on stage with a couple of projections, if I remember, and it was haunting stuff. Yes, more of that. Something like that from the UK. Oh God, I'm getting a bit turned on. I won't lie. Something like that would be majestic. Would be majestic. And if you're going to consider all of these songs, hello BBC, don't forget that the UK isn't just England. There's Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Look at those countries. Look at Welsh songs. Even if none come your way, find some yourself. And the same with Scots Gaelic and artists from Northern Ireland. You know, have a look, make a great decision. So that's it in terms of the countries that we can expect to come back in Malmö. But then you've got Andorra, I don't think they're coming back. Bosnia, I don't think they're coming back. Bulgaria, I don't think so. But with Bulgaria, a song in Bulgarian, it's as simple as that. Hungary, well, until they change their ways, I don't think we're going to be seeing Hungary anytime soon. Monaco, I think, have confirmed they won't be back next year. Montenegro, possibly. Montenegro did have an artist lined up for Liverpool. Ask them again. It's as simple as that. Morocco, no idea. North Macedonia. Oh man. I mean, they nearly qualified in 2022, thanks to a lot of jury love. North Macedonia, what could they do? What could they bring to the table? I don't really know. I mean, Tamara did an absolutely exceptional job in Tel Aviv. So maybe another ballad. I don't really know. Slovakia, don't really know. I mentioned Celeste Buckingham earlier for the Czech Republic. She could easily represent Slovakia as well. Turkey, oh yeah, I don't know. Something that feels quite traditional in Turkish, maybe by a band. I think back to Athena, that's 20 years ago next year in Istanbul, that performance for real. Oh, sublime stuff. I'm not saying if Turkey come back they should pick something like that again, or Mor ve Ötesi, who represented Turkey in 2008. I'm not saying we should go down that route again, but both of those songs were quality, so I wouldn't be mad if indeed they did something like that once more. And we can overlook Belarus and Russia for obvious reasons to both of them. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. A very messy video, and would you believe it, it has ended up being 35, nearly 36 minutes long. Very messy stuff from me again. That's quite disappointing, but it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts on anything I've mentioned in today's video. What would you like to see / hear from these nations next year? It's always the same with me. Diversity, quality over quantity. Yes, I'm looking at you, Malta. And songs that just stand out. They don't have to be let 3 stand out. They just have to have something about them that gets people talking. Because Eurovision is a cruel game, I've said this before. If your song is not gaining much buzz, it's over for you before it's even started. You may as well not turn up in some instances. I know that sounds really, really rude, but it's true. We all know it. You've got to deliver the goods right away. And I know when we looked at Belgium, Gustav, oh, rubbish, he's not qualifying. That's what a lot of people thought, including myself, to some extent. But then he turned it around, and fair play to him. It can happen. But I feel like more often than not, if your song isn't delivering the goods early on, those goods are never going to be damn well delivered. So what I'm looking for from each country, and to be honest, there is no excuse. Unless your budget is terrible, there's no excuse. Deliver something that is ready for Eurovision, right from the word go, right from the very start. And even if there's a revamp, a little while after the national final or whatever, it doesn't need to be massively revamped, because it's already sounding so good and looking so good. Promote the hell out of it, and then hope for the best when you're in Sweden next May. Knowing that for months, the song you've got has been ready for this contest. Ready to go. Ultra polished, sounding top notch. There's no excuse. If you are entering a national final, you are in it to win it, for God's sake. Otherwise, what's the point? Why go in wanting to just make up the numbers? I know this might sound ridiculous to some of you, but honestly, if I was a songwriter writing a song for somebody, I'd be thinking, for God's sake, let's try and win this. Let's try and get to Eurovision. That's the ultimate aim, obviously. Like with MGP, there's going to be songs that I know and you know will not stand a damn chance. So why are they there? To make up the numbers. That's the honest truth. I'm going off on a big tangent here, but okay, even if those songs aren't going to win MGP, as long as they are as absolutely rock solid fantastic as they can be, as ultra polished as they can be, fine, give it your all, fair play to you. But you've also got to be in it to win it at the same time, and now I'm going to shut up. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I really apologise for this rambling. It's getting out of hand, I know. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I'll be back soon with more Eurovision 2024 related stuff and Junior Eurovision 2023 related stuff. Until then, take care and bye for now.